submit your log and they'll print your certificate. And as I said, there's some other ones that, man, I have to pay attention to what I'm doing and make sure I have a whole full cup of coffee.
Speaking of coffee, I think I'm going to have to go get myself some breakfast. I got excited that I was
Good morning, everyone. I think we had some audio issues earlier. We're surfing the morning net. The morning net doesn't start here until 8 o'clock on 145.150. So right now we're just on a local repeater. Got our home brewed coffee and hand brewed radio waves this morning, and our candle going, and our Mad magazine on deck for any downtime. Join us in the morning here as we surf around. I also keep a learning log in the morning, just because there's a lot of great chatter about radios, science, topics, a lot of just great stuff, so I'll take some notes, or even folks talking about other nets that are occurring at different times during the week, so it's a great thing to have a learning log. The other thing I like to do is I'll do a quick record on the 705. I'm recording right now, so you can have an audio file after I can zip back and listen to it. We've got the Icon small speaker at the top, $30 at Amazon. I think it's half off right now, 40% off. It's great for throwing some volume into the room. Sometimes I get tired of having the headphones on, especially if I've got people in the house or kiddos around. It keeps me grounded in the space too, so I don't disappear into the radio waves. But join us, we'll zip around here. See what we can tune into. Right now I'm just going through the memory channels. Oh no, that's police activity. Good people doing good things. Lots of activity there. Oh, this is always fun. Let's see. Somebody always down here. Yeah. I think we got Puerto Rico. It's typically what I get on. Let's try some different filters. And what I did is I just changed the span, but my tuning have to be fine-tuned. This frequency's hopping around. Hold tight,
saludito. Buenos días, estamos por aquí parqueaditos, raya.
So you can tell somebody has a really strong unit because they are punching through.
Oye, estamos ahí con la pastillita más nada, joder.
Or they're closer to us. Let's just move here for a bit. There's something down here too. Let's see. Well, let's hang out up here.
Oye, 10-4. Pues tengo parqueadito. Vamos a ver si le metemos algo ahí al cuerpo y el cafecito, raya. Saludito por ahí. Díselo, Mario Luis, díselo.
Let's go take a look. Let's just see what it is. Nothing going on there. Alright. Here it is.
Bueno, es que estos muchachos me están dando 20 decibeles para acá. Imagínate. Y cuando tú le preguntas algo,
Oh, wow. I'm glad I turned on this morning. Lots of activity. Let's head back here.
mire, yo estoy transmitiendo y no muy temprano, por las 8 ya. 8 de la mañana empezamos. No, está abierto.
Oh yeah. Look at all this pop. Where did all this come from? How exciting is that? This is why it's hand-brewed homebrew.
Suavecito, suavecito y hablando suave. Suavecito y hablando suave.
You can find joy everywhere.
Gracias, Juan, igualmente para ti. Igualmente ahí duplicado, triplicado ahí esos bellos numeritos. Pues pasa bien.
You know, maybe you don't have to have the most expensive, best radio or setup. You can have affordable ways to hop on and just listen. And if you can't, hop on here. And please click the like, subscribe button. Leave a comment.
Ahora podemos hablar y escuchar.
Maybe you want me to tune in somewhere. Leave a comment, hop in the chat. Can I do that?
Porque por ahí está el doctor, si no, ¿qué dijiste, doctor? Bajaste el power, doctor, bajaste el power, está como fatal.
Sorry about that. And we lost it. Wow. Look at that. It's gone. It's a wave. This is it's a wave of frequencies came in. It really is like surfing. Makes the learning log helpful too.
Después me dicen la marca para comprarse las mismas. Son Alcacelser o Cortal. Bueno, cuando pueda te chequeo en WhatsApp.
59. Here's a local repeater.
That's right on. Yeah. And yes, people have traveled. You can go back, last month.
WHHT repeater.
Larry, and good morning, Wes. Go ahead and take one, Larry. Good morning,
Hey,
both of you.
there are the boys.
Good morning, Jim, and good morning, Wes. Yeah, it's a nice day this morning so far. 71 degrees, 84% humidity. Looks like the barometer dropped a bit and going to 91 degrees is what I heard.
Hoo-wee.
And I'm going to stay mostly inside. I've been doing that anyhow. So over to Wes, WP0RMN.
I said the boys.
This is NHM. Good morning, Jim. Hey, good morning, Larry. On this holiday edition of the Weekday Morning Roundtable, Matt, looks like a great day. Over to you, Jim. This is NHM.
It's all for older gentlemen, some younger folks. It's a wonderful morning now. We already got a weather
This is
update.
WHSX. Well, Larry, I have been staying in as well, but today I'm going to pack up my gear and go downstairs to the garage and set up my new HF amplifier and try it out with my vertical antenna, the one that I plan to be using in Parks on the Air, and let's see if if I can get the amplifier working with the radio and all of that. And that's my project for today. Over to you. This is W8SX.
Well, sounds like a valuable project. I haven't been on portable for a whole year. Last year I went portable a little bit, but this year I haven't done it. I have the three HF rigs that I own. Actually, I own a fourth one. It's in a box someplace. I'm hoping to sell it. I wish somebody'd come along and offer me some money for it, and I'd let them have it. But the other three HF rigs that I own are here on the desk in front of me. And I don't use the G90 much, but it's a fun little radio, and I will get it out sometime. It runs 20 watts, and I've never used an amp on it, although there is an amp available for it. So that's it for now. Over to West, NAQM, WB0RMN.
Here's a task for your learning logs if you're keeping one. Watch that side signal. Oh, there it just popped up. Try to figure out what that
in
is.
view of the favorable weather, it's
I
probably
know
no
what it is, but I'm not going
surprise
to tell you.
that Sandy and I are going to begin our preparations for the deck, getting it prepped for its sustaining and preservation. Over to you, Jim. This is NHM.
Wow, look at that weather.
This is WHSX. Well, Wes, the WeatherBug app thinks today it's going to be sunny and pretty nice and warm. It only thinks it's going to get up to 86 degrees, but I did hear on the broadcast news that they think it's going to be in the low 90s today. But WeatherBug thinks it's going to rain tomorrow and the next day. We'll have to see about that. I'm not sure whether it will or not. You know, the weatherman doesn't always get it right. With that, we'll leave a long pause to see if there are any crossbanders that are trying to sneak into the net, and then it will go over to Larry. This is W8SX.
Sounds like it's going to be a going to be a slim morning as far as personnel is this morning, but I don't blame people for getting out and enjoying the holiday. It's kind of the last first holiday of the fall season, and then the only thing we got to look forward to would probably be Veterans Day, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then New Year's. But football season has started, and I enjoyed watching a couple of football games on Saturday and look forward to some more on the next Saturday. I really, really enjoy watching college football, and I don't even really care what two teams are playing in the game, although I have a couple of Iowa teams that I follow. But it's just a better game than the pro game. Pro sports have turned me off to begin with. They want me to pay for them to watch the ball game, and I will not. So anyhow, over to Jim, or no, it goes to Wes, and I'm sorry, Wes, I've about left you out of a three-man rotation. NAQM, WB0RMN.
So you see in a net, there's a rotation. You announce who you are. Your call sign. There's an etiquette. Got a learning log here.
Well, this is NAQM.
Get your pencil, learning log. It doesn't have to be fancy.
Listeners that this
And nobody else
is
has
an
to
open
read it,
net,
just you. So it doesn't matter if it looks like
and
chicken
any
scratch.
licensed amateurs in the coverage area who
Don't
would
worry
like
about
to
it.
join in the Jabberjaw session are warmly encouraged to announce themselves. And, for the deck preparations, Sandy, with her nursing background, she looks at the label of the, like the sealer and that kind of stuff, and it says for temperatures up to 90 degrees. And so then, if the temperature is 91 degrees, we can't do that. So, so I don't know. Well, definitely today, we're not going to be getting into opening up any cans, but today is preparation of the deck, and we shall see about doing any type of applications in the days to come. NAQM, leave you a nice, healthy pause in case someone else likes to join in. Handing it over to Jim. This is NAQM.
NAQY, repeater.
K8RBN.
Was that Kilo Bravo 8 Romeo November?
Kilo Echo 4, Zulu Yankee, Quebec.
That's new. There's a couple new folks.
Net control. This is Kilo. You're correct. Kilo Echo 8 Romeo Bravo November. This is Carl out in Ortonville.
Ortonville. That's about 4. It's over an hour away.
Kilo Echo 8 Bravo Romeo November Carl. Good morning to you, sir. And I heard Joe KE40YQ. Carl, go ahead and take a round. And if you would, please pass it to Joe. This is W8STX Jim in Commerce Township.
Hey, thanks, Net Control. I'm just checking in and out on the Herd Your Net, and I have my 14-month son on my lap, so I definitely, his attention span isn't too great. So he'll probably want to go play with toys here pretty soon. But I did hear your net, and I did want to check in, and we'll listen for a little bit. But thanks again, and good luck with your deck project as well, sir. I'm doing one myself. But I'll hand it over to Joe, and again, I'll say 7-3 to everyone, and thanks for letting me check in. K8RBN.
Yes, Kilo Echo 4, Zulu Yankee, Quebec, KE4ZYQ. Good morning to all on the morning roundtable. And I think
think I heard Jim, W8STX, and N8QM, I believe. And I don't know if I heard any others. I just came in on it and just woke up from an unscheduled cat nap, so forgive me if I sound kind of groggy. But happy Labor Day to all on frequency, listening or checked in. So I'm going to pass it over to I think it may go to either NAQM or W8STX. I think somebody knows who's next. Go ahead.
Kilo Echo 8, Papa Mike Kilo, checking in.
K8PMK, good morning. Chuck, go ahead and take a round. Pass it back to me, W8STX. Good morning.
Well, Roger, Jim, and good morning to you. Good morning to Larry number 2. I always love it when I have Roman numerals in my log. Wes, Carl, who is gone now, and good morning also Joe. And happy Labor Day to everybody. Well, all you guys that work still, that are off for the day, have happy Labor Day. And for us retired people, well, it's just another Tuesday.
This is W8STX. Well, Chuck, we are so laid back, you and I being retired guys, that we can call Mondays, Tuesdays, and get away with it because it doesn't really matter whether it's Monday or Tuesday. We're still, we're on our own time. So good morning to you, and good morning, Joe, and 73 to you, Carl. Thanks for checking in. Good to hear your voice on the radio. We do this about every weekday morning, starting around 8 o'clock in the morning on this frequency, and we go till about 8:30. But sometimes we talk a lot longer than that. It all depends upon how many people check in and how long people have to talk on the radio. And with that, over to Larry, WB0RMN. This is W8STX.
Too many push-to-talk switches, and I get them mixed up from time to time. So that's the way of that. I better shut this other rig off. Anyhow, good morning, Carl. And I have a couple questions, Jim. I'd like you to describe the vertical antenna that you're going to use. And Wes, what kind of a treatment are you putting on your deck? Does it have to be stripped of the current treatment and then apply a cover or coat of some kind?
That was a little learning session. Did you learn about?
In 20 or so years, I built a deck on our house in Iowa, and it was quite large. I think it was
Set this
16
display
by 20.
stop
And we used it for a while, and I refinished it a few times myself, and then I started hiring it done. So with that, I have to turn it to Wes and AQM WB0RMN.
That's a definition of insanity. I just went to the same spot.
Our signal coming in this morning. But I think that we're not out of the dark as far as QRM goes, because Larry, on your transmission, there was I heard a little bit of static in and out. There was something, I don't know what it was. There's raising a little bit of static on the signal. Maybe some of the others can give a more authoritative report on that. I had been coming in on military power, but I've switched now to ultra low. Now on my transceiver defaults, of course, to the military power. But I know from this location I go on ultra low. And let me head on down to, let's see, it would be Carl, KE8RBN. This is NAQM.
Carl signed. It goes over to Joe.
Ready, KE4ZYQ returning. And good morning to Larry, if he's on frequency still there.
Turn that off.
Or
saying good morning.
Actually gonna get us on
But
DC here in a
hopefully the
minute.
band opens up. And yes, you're right there, Jim. I think on Larry's signal there was
what we did is we just
some
went into
propagation
settings and I turned
interference.
off the
A little bit of wobbling
automatic
there or
display.
something that came in and out, and it may happen on me too, so who knows? You can let me know. But I'm receiving you guys this morning so far at about a 5/6, 5/7, so when the QRM isn't in there. So,
So I
geez,
have
I'm
these on
sometimes
running
thinking
on
it
a
goes over.
battery and not plugged in directly to a stereo source. See, all that noise just came in.
In there.
All right, I think I have it.
It's
Yes,
turning
I
right
don't know.
down
Something
here.
just happened funny here with my radio. This is Kilo
That's
Echo
a
8,
lot of
Papa Mike
influence.
Kilo in with the group. And I heard Jim talking about going out with his rig to the garage to check out his new antenna. And I'm probably going to take this little G90 out on the patio later on today and see what I can do with it too. But since it's getting a little flaky, I'm going to hand it on up to the top. WSCX, take it.
This WSTX, let me see if I've got it. Yeah, so the propagation is, map is red for today. So if the repeater in Ohio is active, we could be getting interference, or it could be coming from the west. Over in Larry, break for time.
NHBUY, repeater.
The antenna that I'm planning to use is a Chameleon Impasse Flight 2.0. It's a 17-foot vertical whip. It has a stake that goes in the ground, and then it's got a counterpoise. It's an antenna that I've had for about a year. Over to you, Larry. This is WSTX.
Okay, Jim, very good. Well, I've looked at that antenna. I have a big coil that I can't remember the name of the coil, but it's an adjustable coil. I do have a 17-foot whip, and I have about a 10-foot whip too. I have used them both, and you'll have good luck with that. Get the radios out, and it'll work fine for you. I didn't hear Wes tell me what we're going to do about the deck, but that's to come yet, I think. And I turned my power up to 25 watts. Normally, I make this repeater with less than 5 watts on this antenna, so I'm wondering what's going on. Anyhow, over to Wes, NAQM, WB0RMN.
NHM, well, we're getting a fine signal from you, Larry. Until you mentioned you had increased the power, I didn't. Listening, I think I can hear an improved signal, but it's a periodic. Well, it's not periodic. It's random, where there's something that comes in unpredictably, and you're still readable. Still hear you, but it's some type of QRM that comes in there and just says just starts giving you a little trouble, but we can still read your signal just fine. Now with the deck, we've already stripped it in preparation for the wedding here. We did that, so it looks very beautiful. But now we want to be able to keep it. So today is just prep work. Then I'm going to get it cleaned up a little bit, and if things go well,
For the repeater,
then
if you
then
don't,
we can get the
it'll reset.
application of
So that's one of the rules, and
the
you're
sealer
mention
and
that.
the stain.
So you got to keep a
and
time on how
all
long
that
you
kind of
talk.
stuff. Let me hand it down. Let's see,
Make
it
sure
goes
you
to
take a
Joe.
break.
KE4
You hear the repeater crash. It makes a funny, like, 1980s video game sound. Almost like Space Invaders dying or something. Expiring.
Yeah, this is KE4ZYQ returning there. Thanks, Wes. And good morning, Chuck. I didn't say that earlier. I apologize. But, yeah, propagation's in and out, in and out. Something's coming in there from Ohio or somewhere. But if somebody can give me a read on my signal, I hope I'm making the trip for the most part. Running 50 watts with the usual setup, compromise. So I'm going to say have a good day, and I'm going to sign right now, since propagation is not being very lucky. It's been in and out, like I think Jim or somebody said, or Wes. But somebody give me a read and see if I made 50% or less or more. So 7-3, and I think it goes over to Chuck. But I'm have a good morning to all. Have a good day till we meet again. K4ZYQ. All right. Papa Mike Kilo, and your signal wasn't too bad at 50 watts. You had a little bacon coming along with you, and you might have dropped once, but I copied everything you said. And I'm sure my signal's all right. I'm running full power here on my Kenwood. But yeah, I'm going to get my G90 out today and do something outside with it. I might try and work on the truck until it gets too hot. But after that, it's a free-for-all. I'm going to get my apartment antenna out. I'm going to set it up on my tripod and see what we can do with it. With that, up to the top of the list.
I'm going to keep the radio on today.
From KE8
It's a free-for-all. This sounds so much fun. It's hot outside, cold inside. The radio's warm. We'll do some more live streaming.
This is W8SX. I'll leave a long pause there to see if somebody else wants to check in. Joe, I would have to echo Chuck's evaluation of your signal. We heard you just fine. You did maybe drop a syllable once or so, but and there was some baking frying on your signal, but it was about as good as we hear you, and so you did just fine today. So thanks for checking in. I hope you have a great day. And Chuck, I hope you have some fun doing some radio things.
When you're baking, they're talking about bacon frying. That's a crackle. That's the interference. Sounds like bacon. And they keep getting knocked off the frequency.
Crowded. I may try to hunt some parks on the air. And with that, over to Larry, WB0RMN. This is W8SCX.
Because of propagation, we're getting a signal that's traveling from Ohio that doesn't typically.
Okay, well, I'm going to say 7-3 to Joe, and Jim, you tell me what band you're going to be on, I'll listen for you. Maybe I'll contact you on HF. Wouldn't that be something?
Get your learning log.
I did some barks on the air yesterday. I caught a half a dozen or so yesterday. It was a fun day for me for that, but I have a grocery order coming this morning, and I'll have to retrieve it from the outside and put it away, and that's about all on my agenda for today. Got the washing all finished up yesterday, so nothing on the agenda for me, but I am not going to go outside and operate. I'm going to stay in where it's cool. But I hope you guys really enjoy that. And with that, over to Wes, NAQM, WB0RMN.
Hey, come on. I wish I could say the same thing, Larry, that I'm going to be staying in today, but because I believe that the humidity is going to be the punishing aspect of the weather today. It's humid right now. I don't need a weather instrument to tell me about that. Humid. Excessively humid. But we can't let that stop us from our day's activities. You gotta push forward. And your signal that time, Larry, was stellar. None of that QRM disturbed your signal last time. And so let me hand it down. I guess it goes to Chuck. KE8 PMK. This is NAQM.
see if anybody was going to jump in. This is KEA-PMK. And yeah, my big boy radio, my ICOM is acted up a little bit again. I was tuning it up yesterday. And for some reason, I let off the transmit button after I get the tune set, and it wouldn't come out of transmit while it was in ready. So I'm going to have to get in there, I think, and clean up some more relays. I haven't decided whether I want to do that work to this radio yet or not, or myself, or send it out and let somebody else do this. So I don't do to this one what I did to my 730, which I'm still trying to get back in order. I like this radio, and I'd like to see it just continue to go on, even though it's 40 years old. It's a solid performer. I've made most of my contacts on this rig, so I really like it. With that, I believe I'm at the bottom of the list. So W8STX to take it from KEA-PMK.
Good morning.
And at 7-3.
And I thought I would leave a long pause there to see if somebody else wanted to check in. This is W8STX. And Wes, on your last couple of transmissions, you did drop out once or twice, very, very briefly. So if you kicked your power up just a little bit, maybe not to military power, but just a little bit, that would prevent that. But we'll have to see. I think it all depends upon when some of those other repeaters are active. And Chuck, I'm wondering whether you have a choke on your feed line to your antenna, and whether maybe you might be getting some common mode current coming back up to your radio from the antenna. And with that, over to Larry, WB0RMN. This is W8STX.
NHBUY repeater. Pause there myself to see if somebody wanted to jump in there. I think I'm going to make this my last round, fellas. I got to go do a cup of coffee. I drink 1 cup of coffee a day, but it's kind of a ritual with me. I just have to have it. So I don't understand why I have to turn my power up to 25 watts, because my antenna's up there 35 feet in the air, and it's got an almost a visual look at the repeater antenna over in Ipsy. And so I don't know. And I'm on the hill crest of the hill here in the township. But had I been on my FT3, I probably wouldn't have been making it this morning. So everybody sounds good this morning. I want to wish Jim and Chuck good luck with their outdoor workout, and I'm going to listen around for some Park on the Air stuff today, and that's probably going to be about it. I'm in the process of rearranging the shack here so I can do a couple things that I haven't done before, and I'm taking my time doing it. So that's what's going on here. Not much. Over to West, NAQM, WB0RMN.
NAQM. Well, Larry, your use of the larger power is not, I don't think it's necessary, except for that random QRM, and it was on your last signal. It was just every, I don't know, it was maybe 2 or 3 times where it came in there for like 1 or maybe 2 seconds each time, competing with your signal. So I think that when you were on your original power, it was about the same. So your increased power is not necessary, but apparently there is some competition for the frequency in your region. I'm guessing in your immediate vicinity. I'm just guessing, because I haven't heard that on any of the other transmissions. I'm looking at the clock, and it is the bottom of the hour, and I need to. Good morning, gentlemen. As I handed that down to, let's see, the last on the list. make the stamp. What? This is KE8PMK. You got stepped on right there at the end with that same little thing that was happening to Larry, so I assumed after you said listening out, it was coming on over to me. And I got my little dog down here ready to go outside, so I'm going to be going out too and get a good look at this weather and get a good feel for it. I already feel it in my back and in my knees and in my neck, because that's of all my conditions that I seem to have. So, guys, I'm going to have to say 732 and get going, and I'm going to hand it up to the top, W8STX. I hope you're not left. You better get somebody else in here. Jim, go ahead and take it away. It's 7-3, guys, and have a great day.
This is W8STX 073 to Larry and Wes and to Chuck. And it does look like I am the last one standing. I'll throw it out one more time to see if somebody else wants to check in. But if I don't hear any more check-ins, I think I will wrap it up for today because propagation is challenging.
We're listening.
KD8ZSK checking in.
Hey.
Was that KD8ZSK?
It is. Sorry if I was a little fast. I just didn't want to double with anyone, but it is Kilo Delta 8 Zulu Sierra Kilo. Keith over in Kenton Township.
Got some homework. Figure out what 73 means if you don't.
Good morning, Keith. How are you doing today?
Don't laugh if you already know what it means.
Were you okay?
Everybody starts somewhere.
Got a good start on my task list.
Right into your learning lab.
Was just doing some work here on the computer that needs to get done, and turned on the radio, and there y'all are. Good morning to anyone that's still listening.
KE8OMD.
That Kilo Echo 8 Oscar Mike Bravo.
Did I make it?
No. No, you did not.
KE8OMD, I heard you. This is KD8ZSK. Good morning.
Well, we did not hear him. Or
Kyle, I did not hear you, but
Yeah.
Keith did. Good morning to you, Kyle, and Keith, thanks for picking him up. Go ahead, Kyle. We'll try one more time.
Roger, I appreciate it. I'll make this my only one here, unless you guys ask me a question or something. But that was my fault. I tried jumping in and cross-banding. Actually, I'm cross-banding off the truck right now because my base station is cross-banding on something else. So I thought I'd try it off the truck, see if I can make it from over here on Jackson. So
Whoa.
sounds like it is. And yeah, I just wish everybody a good morning. Yeah, sometimes I do that. I get a little quick on the key when I'm cross-banding, and I got to let the repeater drop. Otherwise, I can't talk because I'm sure you know how it works, cross-banding. My radio is transmitting still if the repeater is making any noise that it's receiving. So I got to wait for all the noise to stop for me to transmit in reverse on my station. So send it back to Net. Hope everyone has a good holiday. Planning on going out to the lake and just hanging out and I guess trying to enjoy the really hot weather. We'll see how that goes. So 7-3 back to Net. Thanks for letting me jump in.
have a good time at the lake. And yes, I'm familiar with the cross-bending issue. We had someone who recently injured himself, and he's home in cross-bending rather than going downstairs into the shack while he heals up from his injury. So I understand about that. And Keith, good to hear you on the radio this morning. I think we talked about the weather. We talked about radios and antennas. I'm planning to go out and try out a new amplifier today. And I'm something of a space enthusiast, and I see that the Crew 6 from the International Space Station made it back safely yesterday, and that's a week after Crew 7 made it up to the space station. Over to you, Keith. This is WDSTX.
Alrighty, well, very good. And I'm happy for the space crew, too. That's always been a dangerous work. Anyway, I'm going to say 7:30. Got to get back to the task list here. And everybody have a great, safe day. Good hearing everybody on the radio. Not usually able to do that because I'm still working, but today's a day off. So anyway, 7:30 from Kilo Delta 8, Zulu Sierra Kilo.
NHBUY repeater.
KEHUEX.
Rom.
KEHUEX. Good morning, Rom. Go ahead and take her around and pass it back to me, W8STX.
All right, good morning. Just turn the radio on, so I'm not sure who else is on, but I should say Happy Labor Day, I guess. Well, the last, gas for summer is here. Let's soak it in, I should say. Like I said, I've pretty much been on call, so I'm just a bit tied to home.
There's a couple
but I just always took my rig out to the backyard, and I was always playing there, so that was my radio stuff. Pretty much. Nothing new or exciting here. Back to you, Jim. WSTX, KEHUEX.
Ron checks in on the Larry's. He's always asking about. So is Wes.
This is WSTX 73 to you, Keith. Thanks for checking in. Good to hear your voice on the radio. Hope you have a great day. And since you're a working guy, that's excellent that you decided to get on the radio on a day off. Good to hear your voice. And Rom, you are the 9th check-in today, but 7 of the 9 have already said they're 73s. So we've been battling a little bit of the propagation this morning, but it's in and out. But your last transmission was just fine, and I see that this week is probably going to be the last week for the Chandrayaan-3 lander to be powered up, because it's only good while the sun is shining, and the sun's supposed to go down sometime this week on that part of the moon. Wow. Over to you, Ron, KEHUEX. This is W8STX.
Hey, if you haven't liked, comment, subscribe. Keep coming back. We'll have a we've got a lot of great training videos. We've got anyone who's got a child or themselves who are on the spectrum. We do some work. We work in
WD8PIC.
places. Go check us out.
Rom, are you still in there? I heard Bob, WD8PIC. Bob, go ahead and take her around. Pass it back to me. We'll see about catching Rom on the next round. Go ahead, Bob.
If you go back and watch the stream, I bet
Okay, before I say anything, how am I doing for 10 watts?
over the last 40 minutes.
You're doing great. Got a good, strong signal.
Okay. Yeah, with that lander, I presume you mean the Indian one. Of course, as you know, the sun's going to be set for a while.
it's the
So
lander
hopefully
that
it won't
the
freeze.
country of
Hopefully,
India sent up.
because it's going to be extra cold. Hopefully, when they get sunshine again, it will be all right. It will reactivate, because that's one of the things that they talked about whenever a spacecraft is on another planet, is keeping things warm. So hopefully things will survive, and it will reactivate when they get the next round of sunshine.
Over to you, Ram, if you're still in there. Sorry, it's my turn. Break for time. So, Bob, I believe that the design of this mission is only for one solar day, which is 14
why would he
days.
break for time?
And so this is the second week. And so I don't think it was designed to survive 14 days in the dark, because it will get down. So right now it's something like 60 degrees centigrade up above the surface of the moon, but it's going to go down to like minus 200 and something. And I don't think the batteries are designed to have enough power to keep it going warm enough so that it will restart when the sun comes back up in about 14 more days. Over to you, Rom, if you're still in there, and if not, it goes back to Bob. Go ahead, Rom.
Good morning, Bob, as well. I'm going to make this my sound to you, and I'm a little sticky after my walk here, so I'm going to hit the showers and see what's up for breakfast. Hope everyone here has a nice Labor Day, and hope to catch all of you through the week. This is KHUEX saying 7-3, and I'm not sure who it goes down to, but Jim, yeah, I'm sure you can handle it. Have a nice day, everyone.
Jim handles net control. He's the leader.
33, Ron. It goes over to Bob.
Yeah, 7-3, Rob. Have a good one. Yeah, I wondered about that, because and I'm familiar with that's why I made the comment that I made about that mission. So yeah, okay. So whatever scientific stuff they have to do, they got to do it now.
Yes, you're correct, Bob. Whatever they have to do, they got to do it now. And I think the major goal of the whole thing was to actually make a soft landing on the moon, which they did do. This was their third try, and the third try was a charm. So it's a very exclusive club. Just the Soviet Union, the United States, and China are the other countries that have landed softly on the moon and had signals to prove it afterwards. But yeah, I think their little rover that they have that's roving around within 500 meters, that and whatever instruments that the lander actually has on board, they need to finish up their work today or this week before the sun sets at about, I think, 69 degrees south latitude on the moon. Not that close to the South Pole, but closer than anybody's ever got. Over to you, Bob. This is WASTX.
Yeah, I didn't hear where they landed. So neat. Just the fact that they accomplished that is an awesome fact.
And based on how much money the Americans and the Soviet Union spent getting to the moon, they did it on a shoestring budget, so to speak. So that's quite an accomplishment. Back to you.
Yeah, and look at the Russians. You know, they tried to hurry to beat them, and obviously you know what happened.
Well, can't say exactly what all the issues were with the Russian program, whether it was underfunding or not enough testing or what, but they had all equipment basically. I mean, as far as the lander, the software, I think it was all new. I think the only thing that wasn't new was the rocket that got things going. Yeah, it's hard to get to the moon. It's hard to set down on the moon, and it's even harder to set down solidly. Back to you, Bob. This is the latest.
Live repeater.
Yeah, especially with a human, with a human being, with the appropriate computerized software and whatever. But yeah, the Russians wanted to beat them, and they actually wanted to get closer to the pole. So they did things in a hurry. And when you do things in a hurry, you're bound to make mistakes.
This is W8S6. Well, doing things in a rushed way, yeah, it is a recipe for making mistakes. I certainly learned that when I was learning to do science in the laboratory. You needed to plan things out. You needed to think everything through. You needed to practice your moves to sort of see what all the things that could go wrong, and try to anticipate just about everything that could go wrong. But it is very, very difficult, and it's just not easy getting to the moon and getting there safe. Back to you, system.
Exactly, yep. The only reason why I can transmit now, the Tiffin repeater, the Republic repeater is active, or the Bascom repeater, is active. But their 2 meter side is down, so everybody's on the 440 side. If they were on the 2 meter side, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. It's on a commercial tower, so they're waiting on. There's some school stuff that needs to be done on that same tower. So what they're going to do is, some other commercial work. So they're waiting until that gets done, and then, and then of course the ham stuff will be done at the same time to save cost.
I see. Well, I didn't realize that the 2 meter side of that repeater system was down. I'm looking at the propagation map for APRS, and it's red in our area, and it's red all the way into Minnesota and all the way to Pennsylvania. So I guess whatever other interference we're hearing on 2 meters is coming maybe from the west and maybe not from Ohio like I was thinking maybe it was. Back to you.
Actually, it was coming from Ohio, and I want to apologize for that. Once I figured out you guys were active, I stopped. I was getting in. They have a remote receive site for another part of the county because their county is kind of large, and I was getting in that way. But I was only transmitting that way. I was listening on 440, and when I figured out you guys were, so it was me, and I apologize.
Wow.
I'm in that sweet spot where I can get into both repeaters. But right now, because their 2 meter side is down, the 440 side I can get into, but not all the time. If the 2 meter side was up, I could get into it all the time, but I would interfere with you guys. So what I do in the morning, if we're both on at the same time, I go to 440. Well, 440 isn't cooperating right now for the path between myself and the repeater. It is now, but it wasn't earlier, so I went to 2 meters and forgot to listen first. So I'm sorry. But I'm man enough to admit it. Once I figured it out, I went, oops, I better stop. Luckily, I didn't make very long transmissions, so I didn't wipe you out too much.
This is WASX. Well, Bob, let's remember that the NADUI repeater that we're talking on right now is an uncoordinated repeater, and we're lucky to be able to hear ourselves talk on some days. And I wouldn't feel too bad if you're on a coordinated repeater, but it's always appreciated when you realize that we're talking and you do have another path into your conversation locally, that you take that. It's much appreciated, but it's definitely not expected all the time. Thanks for being courteous. It's hard to be perfect all the time. Back to you.
And also, if I had to make a comment, I made it on, like you probably heard a little bit of interference underneath RMN. Well, he's got a strong enough signal that I knew I could make a comment or a short comment or two and not. The rest of the time I tried to do it between transmissions. And then I told the people, I said, I got to get out of here because I'm causing problems. Yeah, I know, this repeater is uncoordinated, and I don't agree with that. However, that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, and it works very well.
Here's a task. Figure out what a coordinator.
I've got a new antenna up, and it's working very well, and I'm very thankful for it. Go ahead.
There are. Put that in your learning log.
You do have a good, strong signal, Bob, and I'm glad that your new antenna is working for you. And yes, if you were just making short transmissions, that would go along with what we experienced earlier in the morning, where usually people were doing just fine, and then the wah-wah would come in, and sometimes just a little bit of a wah-wah, but sometimes it would wipe out other people's signal. But very good. Good to hear your voice on the radio this morning, Bob. Over to you.
Yeah, I try and use State Farm for my insurance. You know their slogan, and like a good neighbor. Well, I try and use State Farm for my insurance, and I know you'll get that. So, yep, that's the way it goes. But yeah, so I have to exercise caution on this frequency because I like to talk to the guys in Tiffin and the Tiffin area. I'm in that neat spot where I can get into both repeaters. So, and I was using high power also. I wasn't using 10 watts like I am now. But anyway, it worked out. And when I realized it, I stopped. I have trouble with large groups of people. So there was only a few of us on the Tiffin repeater, so it was easier. But yeah, I hadn't heard, but I assumed it about the solar power for that spacecraft because it's cheaper also. So I'm glad they did it. That's awesome. There are people today that don't believe that we landed on the moon, and they also believe that the Earth is flat. I'm sorry, but I don't get that because, with the pictures and we're still using mirrors that we put up there, to bounce laser beams back to the Earth. So, and they've seen all the landing sites with the orbiting satellites. But some people, they'll say that that's doctored, and they'll make up all kinds of. I'm sure you've heard all the excuses, and I'm sorry, but I don't get it. Even being totally blind, I get. Do you know one fact? I don't know if you knew this or not. Let me unkey and get it. NHBUY repeater. I don't know if you're old enough. If you were around when the Apollo 11 landed and so forth. All those pictures that you saw were super clear, but they didn't have the format. The network could not deal with the format they were using. So the pictures you saw was a camera aimed at a monitor.
Good morning.
And it's 7:03.
This is W86. Well, Bob, I am old enough to have watched the moon landing live, or at least as close to live as you can get on television in the summer of 1969. I was lifeguarding at the swimming pool and that summer, and I remember going over to a friend's house, and we had a little party, and we watched the moon landing. And Bob, I'm not too surprised that people believe all kinds of things. Belief is a funny thing, and people do tend to believe whatever they want to believe, and it's just a mystery to me about how it is that some people believe the things that they do, but obviously there's a great variation in what people accept for evidence and what people will reject, and it's just part of the human condition. We humans think in biased ways all of the time. Not all the time, but frequently. Daily we do that. Back to you. This is the WDS.
Yeah, and but it just amazes me. It just amazes me that, okay, I'm blind, but yet I have enough evidence that I know the Earth is round. Just one example, of course, I'm into radio, and so are you. Radio waves do not follow the curvature of the Earth. They want to go in a straight line. That's why we need to have tall towers and repeaters on tall buildings, and and that's why we need satellites to cover the entire Earth. Anyway, you get the idea, or to cover as much of the Earth as they do. Well, if the Earth was flat, first of all, there wouldn't be satellites orbiting it, and second of all, California repeaters would be, because the Earth is flat, all the stuff that we need band openings for we wouldn't need a band opening for, because the Earth, the signal would go straight, and of course, anyway, you follow what I'm saying. The reason why, like if I lived in Findlay or Dayton, or the reason why I lose this repeater is because of the curvature of the Earth. I mean, there's also attenuation, but the biggest thing is the curvature of the Earth. And that's only one, that's only one factor. There's lots of others, but you get the idea. And more things would interfere with each other, and we wouldn't be able to have like local FMs in Chicago, and local FMs in Cleveland, and local FMs in Toledo, and local FMs in... Anyway, you get the idea. It's because of the curvature of the Earth. I mean, there's more to it, and there's also other factors, but the biggest factor is the curvature of the Earth. Of course, I'm telling you stuff that you already know. So, I mean, I could go on, but you get the idea.
It's the curvature of the Earth.
I left a church. I left a church because the pastor got weird, and enough people believed his weirdness that, you know, I didn't fit in. So I left. It was turning into a cult, so I left. And it just saddens me, you know, that people can be influenced like that, you know? WD8PIC.
This is WNS6. Well, Bob, unfortunately, we humans are all susceptible to those kinds of influences, and unfortunately, when if we're inclined to believe our leaders, whether they're political leaders or religious leaders or leaders in a company or leaders in some field, you know, when the leaders don't do what they're supposed to do and they betray the trust of the followers, well, you know, I think the astute follower should pick up and take their marbles and go play someplace else, or worship someplace else, or work someplace else, or vote for somebody else. That's just my take on it. But, you know, people do vary a lot in their ability to recognize when they're being lied to, or when they're being misled, or when people are telling them things that for which there is questionable or maybe no evidence. Back to you. This is WASDS.
Yes, you are correct, WD8PIC. According to them, amateur radio is evil, and and what I'm doing right now is taking time away from the Lord. Also, you know, I have people that I rely on for things that I honestly can't do, being totally blind. Well, I'm not relying on the Lord for, you know, what they don't realize is those people have been put here by the Lord, and I'm thankful for it. I just had a couple more things happen that are awesome. But, and then I have a medical need, which I've talked about on here before, you know, where I have incontinence. I'm not supposed to put those items in their wastebasket. I'm supposed to act like an adult, and, you know, and I could go on forever, so, I mean, I left. And one of the biggest things that made me leave, somebody was accused of lying, and they did a whole service on it. So they confronted the pastor in a nice way, you know, not in a mean way, and said, "Please tell us the lies." And his response was, "I haven't decided what they are yet." But yet you could do a whole service on how somebody lied, but you don't even know what they are. I didn't even have to make a decision, if you follow what I'm saying.
There's a repeater taking the time.
This is WNS6. Well, Bob, I think anyone who is in a position of trust, you know, whether it's a department head or it's the head of a company or they're the pastor of a church or they're the head of a political party or something like that, you know, sometimes those people get started in those areas with good intentions, but sometimes they lose sight of what they're actually supposed to be doing. At least that's my take on it. And I think when leaders forget that their purpose is to provide leadership and to help the followers, and they start helping themselves to to meet their own needs at the exclusion of the followers. Well, I think that's just a recipe for a disaster, and I think we see that all the time in various walks of life. Back to you. This is WAWS.
NHBUY repeater.
Yeah, Roger. And another friend of mine that has other handicaps got treated the same way. So far about 20 people have left for those reasons, and a lot of others. And it's very sad, because the people that are still there are the people that I'm still praying for, because they don't understand that they're, they can't see it, or they don't want to see it. So I'm doing good, and I'm just enjoying the life here. You'll like this story. I needed some landscaping done. You'd have to see my condo, but when you walk up to the condo, where the garage is on your left, then there's a sidewalk.
The beauty of the radio, the beauty of the morning net.
You have to go between the garage is on your left, the outside wall of the garage is on your left, and there's a bedroom that sticks out a ways on your right as you get closer to the house. Well, in front of that bedroom, they've got a huge dirt area where they got plants, and it has to be weeded. They don't want you to put grass in there. So it has to be weeded and taken care of. And then there's another area on the side of the condo that's the same way. If it was up to me, there'd be grass all the way up to the building, all the way around. It wouldn't be as beautiful, but it would be much less. You wouldn't have to weed it and mulch it and maintain it, and if you follow what I'm saying. And when we first moved in here, the association took care of that, but as prices have went up, they're trying to keep the association fee, which is only $125 a month, at that level, or close to it. So they don't do that anymore. Well, I had some people that I trusted do it earlier in the year, take care of all that weeding, and they didn't mulch, but they supposedly weeded. And all they did was just pull the weeds at the surface. So they all came back, and they didn't dig out things, and they didn't put weed killer down, and they didn't do it right. So I had two landscaping companies in here. Each one wanted about $800 to do everything correctly. And they explained to me what needed to be done, and actually took me out and showed me physically with my hand. But one of the companies said, you're going to have to pay, we want all the money now. Obviously, I didn't go with that one because I'm on a limited income. The other company, you'll like this. You will make whatever payments you can afford, and we'll work with you. Oh, that was the most refreshing news. The lady was on the phone, but I said, if I can ever meet you in person, you're getting the biggest hug. Hopefully I don't choke you to death. Of course, you know how I mean that. Don't you love it when you have people that understand? And I went with these people because 10 or 11 other neighbors already, had them, and they can see. Well, not only that, but she described everything. She told me she would keep a running, because their workers have to take pictures, so she knows that they did what they did. And she said, but don't you love the fact that somebody with some compassion, I'm still overwhelmed at that, that I still love it. The Lord directed me to the right people, and I'm very thankful for that. So I'm going to make $100 a month that I can afford, and it'll take me a while to pay for it. But she said, in the coming years, she said, we'll schedule things and you'll continue to make payments. And I thought, wow, thank you. I mean, it just, don't you love it when people can put themselves in the other person's place and understand?
This is WASD Expo, Bob. I think contractors who want all their money up front to do their work before they start the work, well, I'll be very suspicious of those people, and I wouldn't agree to that ever. I would always have to withhold some of the money with the expectation that they wouldn't get the money until the job was done. Otherwise, you really have no leverage at all. And the other company that's willing to work with you, well, it sounds to me like they're trying to make a customer for life out of you by working with you on monthly payments. And if they do a good job and you like what they do, well, maybe that is a very, very successful business strategy for them, and one that you can live with. If so, that's great. Back to you. This is WASD.
Yes, and she explained to me and showed me everything that they needed to do. She didn't just say, well, this needs to be done and this is how much it's going to cost. She explained it all to me, and I get it, because obviously I can't see and I have to. But I also had 10 other people, some of whom are very critical. In fact, they're so critical that they've complained about a few people have complained about my antennas, but they can't do anything because I'm grandfathered in, and even the FCC rules state that I can have what I have. But anyway, but yeah, so I love it. And she told me, she said, if we find anything, she said your payment is going to be whatever you can afford, and she said, once we get done with everything that we need to get done with this time, the next time it won't cost you nearly as much, because everything that will have had to have been done will have been done, and it won't the next time there won't be nearly as much to do, so you won't have the cost. And I love the fact that they were so upfront like that, So yeah, I'm going to be a customer of theirs for life. And I was telling her my story and explaining, and she was totally understanding, and she had me crying. Actually, I don't hold that back, but it was a good cry, if you know how I mean that. That she would understand like that. She said, "You don't believe." Oh, and here's the other thing. She said, we may not be able to get out this week because of the 90s. I said, you're not coming out this week. I don't care how much they complain. I do not want you on my property until after the heat wave is over. That made her cry. She said, thank you for being understanding. She said, you don't know how many customers we have that want it now, and they don't care. Well, I'm not that way, and I never will be that way. Go ahead.
Now, Bob, I wonder how much your condo association wanted to raise the fees to cover the landscaping that they used to cover, but they don't cover anymore. I'm just wondering, did they ever price that for you? And they just decided that wasn't going to be something that the condominium association wanted to go for? Back to you.
Yes, and the other thing that they did was they talked to the people about it, and of course the people don't like the fact that they have to arrange things now, but also they wanted to keep the fee what happened was some maintenance that needed to be done around here was never done. Road repair, proper trees, things that cost. Well, she wants to get that stuff done that really needs to be done. As an example, we had 9 trees that, they were those kind of trees that the ash borers like. They had to be sprayed every year, and it was hugely expensive. So that would have had to have been passed on to the people. Then there's other trees that aren't native to this area that were put in here because the builder made bad decisions or whatever. They're having problems. And then there's road repair. You know, there's lots of things, lots of other circumstances too. So that's the other reason why they're not covering, because she said, I want to take care of the things. Well, and we've got a substantial savings, but it's only going to last for so long. And she said, I'd like to take care of the things that really need to be taken care of, and get those out of the way. And then I'll decide. Well, that's going to take a chunk out of our savings. But if we keep the fee at what it is, which is only $125 a month, and I've talked to a lot of other people that pay a huge amount more than that. And I can afford that too, by the way. It's nice. So, you know, you have to look at all the circumstances, not just that one thing. Did the repeater act up?
Yeah. I don't know what the condos association at your place is like, but $125 a month is pretty low as those things go. And you know, I'm just wondering whether the association has been on their toes to keep up with the things that we're supposed to be kept up with, and you know, having savings but also having lots of deferred maintenance. Well, that's an issue, and so it's hard to know what to say about those things. But I do understand about how you can price people out of their homes by raising their association fees, and you really don't want to do that. But you also want to keep up the maintenance of the property and make sure that it's safe and for everyone, and it's structurally sound. Back to you. This is WSTX.
Yes, and that's the thing that this president is doing, is she wants to keep up with the maintenance that has never been kept up with before. And she's planning ahead, too. As an example, she's gotten in touch with all the different arborists and whatever around here to figure out what trees we could plant that wouldn't need a lot of maintenance, just as one example. And, you know, other things that, looking into the future, but looking into the future, we might have to spend a little bit of money now, but it'll save us in the long run.
We have a resident raccoon that helps.
If you understand what I'm saying. Also, the way our bylaws are written,
it doesn't need to be hidden.
We
do have a resident
raccoon. And I knew this. My parents knew this when we moved in. The association fee does not cover any maintenance to any of the condos. In other words, if we need something done, we have to, whether it's a new roof or whatever it is, we have to provide that ourselves. And my parents and I knew that when we moved here. You know, that has to be taken care of by the homeowner. And that's another way they can keep it low. A lot of the other places will say, well, we'll take care of all that, but their fees are $6,000, $8,000, you know, whatever, you know, they're a huge amount more because they take care of all that. they'll take care of the outside stuff, but it doesn't take care of any of the inside stuff. And they used to do the weeding and things, but it's like this lady said, with the other maintenance that needs to be done, she wants to keep the fee down, and that's why she didn't want to do it anymore. And I don't mind having another company do it. I don't have a problem with that. Especially one like this that'll make payments. So I'm going to stay. But she's doing all the right stuff and doing it properly, so that in the future there won't be all the expenses and everything will be taken care of properly. And I like that. So in that regard, I like what she's doing, and she's laid it all out for us and told us about it and given us all the figures, and and I like that. And it's stuff that should have been done right from the start and wasn't. Well, it's being done now. So I like it. I like the fact that she's so honest and is working with us. So some of the people don't like the fact that some of their beautiful trees went away, but they're going to plant other stuff that won't need all the maintenance. And in other words, she's doing things in a better way so that our costs won't have to go up because of but we can still take care of the maintenance that needs to be taken care of, if you follow what I'm saying.
Well, Bob, I do follow what you say. I was the safety director at a health science center for 25 years, and I worked for several years, 5 years or so, for the assistant vice president for administration, and one of his departments that was in his portfolio was the physical plant. Those are the people that maintain the buildings and the grounds, and he was notoriously stingy on maintenance, and after he left the organization, it took me about 10 years of convincing people to fix all of the things that were not maintained properly, and there were even some things that still weren't quite right even after 10 years. So I think deferring your maintenance is very short-sighted. I understand why people do it. They do it for short-term financial reasons or for political reasons, but in the end, it's not sound financial policy. That's my opinion.
Clean as you go.
I need to run here. I've been going on for quite a long time, so we need to go ahead and do a 73 round, and we'll do this another time, Bob. Over to you. This is the BASJ.
Okay, yeah, this is the same person that, my furnace was going to be too small, a lot of things were not going to be done right, so my dad had paid to have it done properly. Yep, so you're right on the money. He was only thinking of what do I have to spend right now, and not let's get the best and let's do it the right way and keep up on the maintenance. You're absolutely correct. So this lady is thinking the other way, and I love it. So anyway, thank you for the conversation, and so anyway, things are being taken care of properly, and in the long run, it's going to be better all the way around. And hopefully, we'll get some. First of all, hopefully she'll stay for a while, and if not, somebody else will get in that also thinks the same way, because I like her thinking. I really do. So 7-3, have a great one. I'm going to stay on the cool side of the door. I'm having a slight problem, and I won't go into it except to say that I have fluid in the legs, and I got into too much salt by accident. I was read some information, but the person for the meals the person was only looking at the per serving and not at the total amount, because I wanted the entire meal. So I'm in the process of making that go away. I'm on a diuretic, and I've got support stockings, and it'll go away eventually. It just takes time because that salt is still in my body, even though I've already eaten. But it will go away, and I'll get back to the way I was, and everything will be fine. So have a great one. Take care. Have a great day, and stay cool. WD8PIC.
Good morning.
And it's 7-3.
This is WA-6, 73 to you, Bob, and 73 to everyone else who joined in the radio fun today, and that would include Larry, WB0RMN Larry. We have 3 Larrys that sometimes check into the round table.
3 Larrys.
And, thanks to Wes, Carl, Joe, Chuck, Keith, Kyle, Ron, and you, Bob. Thanks for joining in the radio fun, and for everyone else who did not join in today, please consider joining us again tomorrow at about 8 o'clock in the morning on this frequency. It's an open round table. It's open to all licensed amateurs. And I'll thank the taxpayers of Washtenaw County for supporting emergency management because they use this repeater, and we're happy to share it with them. This is W8 at 6, signing clear.
NHBUY repeater.
That's a big net. Oh, we're in 25 minutes. That was a good hand-brewed, home-brewed session, my friends. Wow. So grab your learning log. You got some work to do. Alright? You got your log, got your pencil. Don't worry about what you write, how you write. What's 73? The process of a net. Propagation. What was that side? There was that little side signal there that kept popping on and off. What is that? You got a lot of learning to do. You did a lot of learning. Look at your learning log. And if you didn't keep a learning log, there's one in your head. Stop and think about what you learned. Think about what you want to learn. And come back tomorrow. And definitely like, comment, subscribe. We'll keep posting. We'll keep brewing waves and brewing coffee or tea or whatever you want to brew and have with us. Take care. 73. Let's stop recording here. Let's do it. Record stop. Plug in here. And we're going to power down. 73, everyone. Have a great Labor Day and a great holiday.